Subscribe! Let's be honest, you clicking that button is infinitely less terrifying than any of these world leaders doing the same with their nuclear arsenals. We're diving headfirst into the radioactive pool of nuclear powers, arming you with the knowledge you need to understand just how precarious our global situation really is. Buckle up, because things are about to get unsettling. First up, it's the land of the free, home of the brave, and owner of enough nuclear weapons to turn the entire planet into a glowing parking lot, the United States of America. They've got roughly 3,708 nuclear warheads, some chilling on intercontinental ballistic missiles, others just hanging out on submarines waiting for the call. The US subscribes to strategic ambiguity, which is basically the geopolitical equivalent of responding to every question with, "We'll see." This vagueness makes everyone else a tad nervous. Of course, that doesn't mean they're not constantly modernizing their existing weapons, because as we all know, nothing says responsible nuclear power like a fresh coat of paint on a doomsday device. Next, we travel to the land of borscht, ballet, and enough nuclear firepower to make even the most hardened generals sweat through their Kevlar vest Russia. With an estimated 4,477 nuclear warheads, Russia boasts the largest stockpile in the world. Russia's nuclear strategy is a bit less strategic ambiguity and a bit more, if you even think about looking at us sideways, we will bury you in radioactive rubble. This aggressive stance, coupled with their recent special military operation in Ukraine, has ratcheted up global tensions to levels not seen since the good old days of duck and cover drills. But hey, on the bright side, at least Russia is willing to talk about nuclear disarmament, sometimes. Of course, their idea of disarmament usually involves everyone else getting rid of their weapons while they keep theirs. But hey, it's a start, right? Now, let's talk about China, the world's factory floor and increasingly a major player in the nuclear sandbox. With an estimated 350 nuclear warheads, and growing, China's arsenal is still dwarfed by the US and Russia. But don't let that fool you. They're investing heavily in modernizing their nuclear forces and developing new delivery systems like hypersonic missiles, which are basically the Ferraris of the missile world. China's official stance on nuclear weapons is no first use, meaning they've pledged not to be the first to push the big red button. However, they've been rather vague about what exactly would constitute a first-use situation. This ambiguity, coupled with their increasing military assertiveness in the South China Sea and elsewhere, has made their neighbors a tad nervous. Next, let's hop across the English Channel to France, a country known for its wine, cheese, and oh yeah, its nuclear arsenal. With an estimated 290 nuclear warheads, France is the only nuclear power in the European Union, and takes its role as guardian of the continent. Well, at least as seriously as it takes its baguette-eating etiquette. France has a no-first-use policy, but unlike China, they've been a bit more explicit about what would trigger a nuclear response. While France's nuclear arsenal might seem small compared to the big boys, it's still enough to turn a good chunk of Europe into a radioactive wasteland. And finally, we arrive at the United Kingdom, a nation known for its tea crumpets and of course its ability to hold on to its nuclear weapons with the tenacity of a bulldog gripping a chew toy. With an estimated 225 nuclear warheads, the UK might have the smallest arsenal of the official nuclear powers, but they're not afraid to remind everyone that they've still got it. The UK's nuclear deterrent, affectionately nicknamed Trident, is basically the country's way of saying, we might be a small island nation, but we can still ruin your day. Now, the UK's commitment to nuclear weapons has been a subject of debate for decades, with many questioning the cost and necessity of maintaining such a powerful arsenal. So, there you have it. A whirlwind tour of the world's most exclusive club, the one where membership comes with the ability to obliterate all life on Earth. Look, the reality is, living in a world with nuclear weapons is like constantly juggling chainsaws. Understanding the complexities of nuclear power, the motivations of the countries that possess them, and the devastating consequences of their use is not just about morbid curiosity, it's about equipping ourselves to demand better, safer solutions for our collective future. Subscribe!